Time to sound off, Husker Nation. This is your Real Red Reaction Show on Lincoln's KFOR. Call the show now at 402-489-1240.
Welcome to it. Real Red Reaction powered by Slim Chickens. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbal, Justice Rhodey, and the Pride of Fairbury, Bill Dolman, joining us as fellas. Better to be lucky and good as Nebraska escapes from D.C. Thriller 34-31 against Maryland. And stop me, fellas, if you've seen this before, but a game of streaks where it's points by Nebraska, it's points by the opponent, it's points by Nebraska, and the Dylan Raiola redemption drive to Key for the final points. Nebraska able to get off the field on fourth down. You can sound off and join us here. Reaction to Nebraska moving to 5-1. 489-1240, 489-1240, or 800-825-5865. It was a glorious SIG-Ep Dad's weekend. As we won't get into the golf, we'll talk the football. Emmett Johnson, come on down, sir, as he had an amazing game, all heart. And guys, we've seen this before. We saw it just last week with Nebraska having a pretty good lead on a squad and unable to slam the door. Is Maryland able to reel off consecutive scores, going back to that pick six from Dylan Raiola? But I got to mention the composure and the poise of Nebraska in that 2-minute situation to go down and take the lead. Elijah, what'd you think? Bill, what'd you think? Justice, your thoughts as well.
I just tweeted this. How many times in the last decade have we seen Nebraska blow it? They have the ball, 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, a chance to go tie or take the lead. How many times? You can't even count on two hands how many times that has been the story for Nebraska, and they have blown it. Whether it be a turnover on downs, a boneheaded penalty, a snap that rolls between the quarterback's legs and puts you in 3rd and 44 or whatever it may be. Nebraska with the ball, with the chance to go down and take the lead, did it. It's cathartic. It feels great. It's after years and years of pain, it's only one. But man, did Husker Nation need to see a win like that? It was ugly. The whole game was ugly. I hated watching about 3/4 of that football game. But to see what Nebraska did, what Dylan Raiola did in the fourth quarter, whenever the game was on the line, hat tip. It was fun. That may have taken a year off my life, though.
I don't know what to think. You said how many times have we seen them blow it? We saw them blow it 3 or 4 times in that game. I mean, they should have had a 14-0 lead, get a touchdown called back. They get the lead, had the momentum, had the crowd. Oh my God. I mean, that was, that's Delmarva, Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia. And that was put an NEB somewhere in there because God bless Husker fans. They travel to the Eastern time zone and they're going to go find their Huskers. So I thought that was spectacular. But look, Nebraska gave that game away 3 times, maybe more. The pick six was god awful. The throw across his body on the game-winning drive, I mean, that was in the air to be picked off. But look, the football gods directed the pass to Lindenmeyer, who got great yards after the catch. The falling down fadeaway pass. I mean, the fact that worked was spectacular. And the catch by I think that was Hunter, and then a great catch by Key. That game, it had it all. And usually over the last 20 years, I think we're all accustomed to seeing Nebraska lose it. We were not accustomed to seeing Nebraska win games like that through about 42 years because there were very rarely games like that. But that's a memorable one. I don't know if you say a win over Maryland is a signature win, but to win like that on the road, Nebraska reached a plateau. Now can they continue to climb higher?
Where do we go with this? I mean, the program.
I do enjoy the win, Kobe. I do enjoy it, but you gotta admit there were 3 or 4 times within the game that you thought this was it. but they did come back to get the victory. But there were 3 or 4 times when they played like the team that gives up a win, snatches a loss from the jaws of victory. But today, at the end, they pulled it out. But we saw mistakes that they should have won the game by a couple of scores. They should have. But they came through with a rare 2-minute drive type victory. You didn't see that very often. Look, hats off to him. Hats off for Iola coming back, because he did not play well, but he made the plays when he had to make it. So I'm enjoying seeing Nebraska win this game, but I don't think it should have been that way at the end. But hats off that they got it done.
Cardiac Cornhuskers, 489-1240 or 800-825-5865. Can find us on YouTube with Real Red Reaction, the Average Joe Sports Show, KFOR Twitter, and also the Average Joe Twitter handle at AJ Sports Radio. The receiving line, there is some barbecue behind me that smells fantastic. There's a Cash Bar to my left that, Sig-Ep dads have been ponying up since we got done golfing, pouring beers, and the roar of the rail yard, something spectacular. You smile when you hear it. We'll get a lot of your comments in. We'll take your phone calls as well.
Smitty, you're having barbecue back there and you didn't invite me?
Hurt my feelings.
Shout out Gus Johnson.
Well, I haven't had anything yet. I mean, I'm hunkered down and I'm getting side-eyed and looked at, and security came to ask what they're doing. I said, I know Bill Dolman, Elijah Herbal, and Justice Rhodey. Oh, you're good. You're good. So we're excited that this turned out the way it did for Nebraska fans as they pack up for Minnesota next Friday. But listen, Bill, you're right about it didn't have to be this way. But I think by now, Game 6, we now know it's going to be this way. Nebraska is good enough to jump out on teams by a score or two. Nebraska hasn't figured out yet how to put somebody away. And Nebraska will not blink when it looks bleak. And I think the play that kind of encapsulated this team's grit was the little dump off to Emmett, where he breaks about 38 tackles, gets down into the red zone, and then they got to settle for 3. Nebraska, a lot of warts that need to be frozen off, yes. The defense, some shoddy tackling today, minimal pass rush, although they came alive in that final minute 8 that Maryland had to go try and tie or win. And Nebraska's secondary, Washington's going to is a dude. I mean, he made some throws with guys in his face. He made some plays on third down. Maryland was 7 of 15 on third down. Maryland found their running game. Maryland ran the football third quarter and part of that fourth quarter, but it is situational. And Nebraska got some stops when they needed to go on the road, blow 2 10-point leads, put a 2-minute drill together for the win, and be -3 in turnovers is incredible. Is absolutely incredible.
This was ugly. You're not going to like how it looked. You didn't probably enjoy watching most of that football game.
No.
But it was the exact game that Nebraska needed. They have an identity now this season of being the team that steps up and makes winning plays in winning time in football games. They did it against Cincinnati. They did it in the fourth quarter against Michigan State. They've done it against Maryland. It's about the culture. It's about the identity. That's a team that believes in themselves. They believe that whenever it's a close game late, they're going to go make the plays to go win. When was the last time you can say that? So again, we can nitpick here just a little bit, and rightfully so. It was not a pretty performance from Nebraska. It wasn't a pretty performance from Dylan Raiola. But when he needed to go make plays in the fourth quarter, he did. He put the team on his back. Emmett Johnson, a workhorse running back, reels off a huge run when Nebraska needs it most. I mean, it's just the team made winning plays in winning time to get a win on the road in Big Ten play. There's no easy wins on the road in Big Ten play, no matter how sleepy it was out in Maryland. That Maryland team is a good football team. I think that is the exact game that Nebraska needed in this moment in time to prove to themselves, you know what, we can go out and make the winning plays when we need to.
No, I think that's
489 Go ahead. Sorry, bud.
I think that's completely fair. And also, I want to tap myself on the back. I called this a Nebraska win, and Emmett Johnson over 150 rushing yards. Thank you. I'll take my flowers later in the mail. But no, it was an up and down performance. I mean, Nebraska gets out to the fast start like we saw last week against Michigan State, right? So they get out to the quick start, and then it just seemed like the leaky yards. The defense just kept bending, and Maryland broke them a couple times. But credit, it's just like Batman at the end of the Nightfall saga. He comes right back, he takes down the bad guy, and at the end they find a way to win. So really, it was a gritty, gutsy effort. Like Elijah said, I completely agree. Absolutely a game for a program that you need to win. Like that you just have to have if you want to solidify this team through everything. And Dylan Raiola threw 3 horrible interceptions. I'm not going to downplay that. They were atrocious. Okay, he threw it right to a guy into his waiting arms. He throws one that on an in-breaking route from Cortez Mills where he just leaves it behind him, and then the second one where he's just trying to throw it out of bounds and just does not get it there, and it hangs up in time for somebody to pick it off. I mean, bad interceptions. But how about Emmett Johnson? Dana trusted him. They trusted the offensive line. I thought hats off to the offensive line for the run blocking job. Dylan only gets sacked once. It's at the end of the first half. I thought they did a great job really keeping the pocket as clean as they could. Good game plan to get the ball downhill within Emmett Johnson's hands, get it into a playmaker's hands. Now, Isaiah Hunter was phenomenal today. I thought he made some big plays. Dane Key came up huge when they needed him. And at the end of the day, I mean, the guy you pay $3 million for orchestrates a drive within 2 minutes, and they go steal one at the death against Maryland. I mean, that's the kind of win that the program needs. It does have its blemishes, but I think you just take that and you run away, you skate out of College Park, and you say, hey, we're happy to be 5-1 just from the win column again.
Gray Woman 79 says, yeah, I picked Maryland, and it was looking that way. How are you? What did you think?
Dylan Raiola is a fraud, and he's soft.
Wow, Uncle.
Oh, that's cold.
Junior. He doesn't live with me anymore. So
Junior on the sauce right now, Schmitty? Did he have a little something for Dad's weekend?
He did not.
Okay. So he's thinking level-headed right now.
And Dylan Raiola was rough for a good portion of that game.
Yeah.
But whenever he needed to go make a play, that throw to Lindenmeyer, top tier. That throw to Isaiah Hunter while he's falling down, top tier. I think we rightfully can critique Dylan Raiola's performance with those 3 interceptions in the middle portion of that football game. But you also have to give him his flowers for what he did on the last drive. Nebraska hasn't had a quarterback that can put together a last drive like that since
Zach Taylor.
I was going to go
Zach Taylor.
Joe Gans. Those are the 2 names I was going to go with.
10 points.
Flowers for that.
10 points in the fourth quarter. A 10-0 spot. Maryland shot out 14 rip in the third quarter. Nebraska finishes in the fourth quarter with 10 unanswered. Again, back to the streakiness of Nebraska the last 2 weeks. And Bill, I want to get your thoughts here on one thing that we've talked a lot about, and that's Nebraska's run game, guys. Let's go around the horn there. We'll hear from Matt Rule coming up. Your comments in the stream, 489-1240 to get in.
Other Brian had a heart attack.
A lot of joy. The other Brian was on site there at the Nebraska-Maryland game, but I like what Nebraska did. Nebraska went for 193 yards on the ground today. They didn't run the football as an afterthought. They came out of the gate with intent to try and run downhill. Obviously, that slowed down Maryland's pass rush. Nebraska just allowing 1 sack on the day. Turner Corcoran in some big-time minutes as he got dusted off at left tackle. The final drive, so good on for Turner Corcoran being ready. But, Bill, Nebraska made a point to run the football. They turned to it. They turned to it on first down. And they were set up for second and manageable a lot. Bruce and Spearfish, yeah, EJ is pretty good. And he was the heartbeat today. He was in an unsteady game. He was the slow and steady hand. Slow, not knocking him. I'm saying just he was there to lean on, to use. And he brought a lot of energy and momentum in a half-empty joint, down by a touchdown after that pick 6 that felt like 2 touchdowns, and then you go 3 and out. Nebraska's defense made enough plays. They weren't great, but they survived to get the football back to the offense. Kenneth Williams showing up on special teams, 2 for 2 on field goals. And Nebraska in a pressure moment delivering. That's the story. And Emmett Johnson, a big part of that story today with his grittiness.
I've been a big fan of Emmett Johnson since the day he got to Nebraska. I just think he's been tough. He's not a great run blocker or pass blocker, beg your pardon. But today he looked like an alpha back. He's been a nice running back, but today he looked like the kind of guy that can carry a team on his shoulders, and he did. And I don't want to make this comparison because I think it's sacrilege. But that run that he had, how long was the longest run that he had? The 50-yarder or so. There were highlights when you look at it from the ground level and watching it, the moves he was making, the shifts he was making, the left, the right, the back, the hunch over a couple of times. I'm trying to think, who does he look like? And he looked a little bit like Johnny Rodgers. And I would never say that, but on that highlight, the moves that he made, the planting of the foot, the stepping back, the shifting to the side, they're just some of on that particular run. I'm thinking, who does he remind me of the way he's running that way? Because not like Derek Brown, he didn't look like Calvin Jones, he didn't look like LP, not Amon, but just that shiftiness and guys were missing, and he chugs down 50 yards. And I thought, Mike, that looks like a Johnny the Jet punt return. Good on him. He was spectacular today, and he was the consistent one for Nebraska today. He's better than I always thought he was good. He was better. He was better today than I thought he could be. So good on him for that. And again, I know mentioning Johnny Rodgers with anybody other than a Heisman Trophy winner, a sacrilege. I tread on this very carefully when I say that, but he was impressive. And look, I said the last couple of days, Nebraska special teams, you got to prepare for them. And they didn't get the punt return from Barney or anything like that, but Kenneth Williams. When was the last time Nebraska had a kickoff return like that? Other than
Niles
Barney
Paul,
when he got tripped up by Tristan Alvano in the spring game a couple of years ago.
I mean, I thought watching that play, I was like, Nebraska finally has a return touchdown for the first time since J.D. Spielman, and he just runs out of gas late. But man, what a huge play that was. We have Tad in California calling in, so let's get to him on the line. Tad, go for it.
All right, guys. Boy, what a game. Hack off to the running, to the offensive line. And, boy, this feels good, doesn't it, boy? So we just got to embrace the bad news bears because they're going to keep coming out here, and they're going to keep giving us 67-year-old guys, strokes. So hang in there. Don't say anything negative. The defensive line, I just like what they're doing. They're all over the place. We're just young. But, guys, great win.
Tad, good stuff. Nebraska got it handled on the ground, got it handled with a 2-minute drill. How about old Dane Key, fellas? Dane Key was called out in a good way by old Dana Holgerson that the ball's going to find him. Boy, did it. You saw Hunter. You saw Lindenmeyer. That was nice. So well-balanced diet today for Nebraska football, aside from the turnovers. And aside from, what looks to be a pretty potent offense and what looks to be a future first-round quarterback. But Nebraska will take this. Matt Rule has hinted all season long that there's going to be a lot of one-score games. There's going to be tied ball games. And he has been prophetic with that. But the difference is the belief this team has, the moxie, not afraid of the moment. At some point as the season moves forward, you'll need to put some teams away when you do jump out because you had stretches that you were clearly the better football team. You came out with great energy. You came out with a great script. You came out doing a really nice job stopping the run and getting after Washington. And he didn't get comfortable, but you're up 10-0. Again, you stall in the red zone. Instead of 14, it's 10, and then here comes Maryland. Maryland had about 9 lives today, and they took advantage. They too also got in some rhythm and found ways to get back in the ball game.
And I can't remember who brought it up earlier in the show. It may have been Vic. I think it was Vic out in Colorado. I had mentioned this earlier in the week, so make sure you check out the Average Joe Sports Show, 4 to 6 every single day, Monday through Friday, and then the weekend editions as well. If you're just checking out the reaction, make sure you do that. But I had mentioned it so many times. The year 3 Matt Rule thing has been brought up. Oh, well, in year 3, Matt Rule gets it to pop. Year 3 at Temple, year 3 at Baylor. Well, it's year 3 at Nebraska. If you go back to year 3 at Baylor, there was a lot of close games where Baylor felt like the better football team, but they escaped by the skin of their teeth. It was a double overtime win over a Texas Tech team that missed the bowl game. There was a 17-14 victory over a West Virginia team that missed a bowl game. There was a 29-23 triple overtime game against a TCU team that missed a bowl game. It wasn't always pretty. The defining trait of that 11-1 Matt Rule 2019 Baylor team was they found a way to get it done. That's what Nebraska's doing right now. You have 3 games so far this season. Cincinnati, Michigan State, and now Maryland, where, hey, do you feel like it shouldn't have been that close? Maybe. I think that Maryland football team is a dang good football team, and they're going to cause a lot of teams in the Big Ten some issues this year. But you found a way to get it done. That is starting to become a defining trait of this 2025 Nebraska team, that when the times are tough, whenever it feels hopeless, they go find a way to make a play when they need to make a play and go win the football game. That's that Matt Rule culture being instilled. That's what happened in 2019 at Baylor. That's what happened at Temple. You're seeing it with this football team.
Yeah, I totally understand that. And quickly, I wanted to get on a different side. I don't think Maryland did themselves any favors in this game. A multitude of unsportsmanlike conduct penalties against the Terrapins. It just felt at points like they were just unnecessary contact stuff, like things that just didn't need to happen. They were trying to play with an edge, trying to get a little bit extra. And I know, Bill, that you've seen Mike Locksley at several points over your illustrious career. I don't know if they've ever been that undisciplined, but it felt kind of off the rails from a Maryland team. And ultimately, I think their undiscipline kind of did them in, plus Nebraska executing with the high-level talent they had down the stretch. I'm curious on your thoughts on that.
I love Justice making sure he gets rounded at the end of the semester from a C+ to a B with those illustrious career. Love you dropping that one in there. You're trying to get some points for the grades.
Wise you are, Justice, I must say. That doesn't surprise me. There was that at keeping to bring up New Mexico, but they were undisciplined football teams, but they were losing, and they had a losing mentality, and there was just undiscipline. And look, he's a great guy, but there were things with Maryland. Look, I don't watch a lot of Maryland football, trust me, but when I have seen them, there are things that they do that cost them, that just seem as though it's the same stuff I saw before. There's something that's preventing them from, really taking the next step. So no, to be honest, I wasn't surprised by some of that stuff. It's too bad. He's got a great quarterback who's going to make a lot of money probably at another school someday. Now that, as Barry Switzer said, NIL stands now it's legal. I could see a guy like that getting a lot of money to go to Miami or something, even though he's a Maryland native. But Malik Washington is a fantastic quarterback. He'll probably stay because he's from Maryland and Locksley's there, but he could make a lot of money someplace else.
I think he'll likely stay at Maryland, but he's going to be a problem in the Big Ten moving forward. If Maryland can't put pieces around him, that's the only case I could see him transferring. He committed to Maryland for a reason. His relationship with Locksley dates back, I think, to when he was in like 8th grade. He goes way back with Locksley. He loves the coaches there. He loves putting on for Maryland. That's what Locksley wanted in his team this year. And Washington embodies that, a guy that wants to play for Maryland as opposed to the name on the back of the jersey. But we'll see. He is a very, very talented quarterback. And it's a credit to Nebraska's defense that they're able to get off the field at the end of the football game. Washington didn't make a great throw on 4th down, but you did a great job to make it tough for him by putting the pressure on him, forcing that grounding call. The defense stepped up. I mean, that Maryland team felt like continuously was driving the field on Nebraska. They got 2 huge stops when they needed it. One, after you kick the field goal to go down by 4, you get a stop, you get the ball back to your offense. And then with enough time left on the clock. Maryland had 2 timeouts, and how much time was left? Like a minute 20 something.
A minute 8.
Minute 8.
Yeah, they had enough time, and your defense stepped up and made a play. with that intentional grounding call that they forced, and then on fourth down, getting off the field. Credit to that Husker defense. It wasn't just the offense making a drive. That was incredible. But the defense stepped up when they needed it to.
It's Elijah Herbal, Bill Dolman, Justice Rohde, Chris Schmidt here. Real Red Reaction powered by Slim Chickens, 14th and Pine Lake, 84th at Old Shady. Go celebrate. Get some wings, get some chicken fingers, get a salad, get a dessert. Go see Hooksy and the crew. Slim Chickens powering you with Real Red Reaction. Pride of Fairbury's, Bill Dolman, Justice Rohde, Elijah Herbal, 489-1240 to get in. And Rock checking in says, okay, this program is different now. Annoyed with so much, but they got it done. Program is transforming before our eyes. Great point, Rock. And that is what last week showed you a little bit with the adversity they faced and the response and resiliency. And then also the confidence this team's playing with in these big moments. They aren't perfect, but there's a lot of times that they make the timely play, i.e., the 2-minute drill, the go-ahead touchdown, the stop on 4th and 4, the third down stop to get the football back with just a shade under 5 to go versus, around 3:45 to go, 4 minutes. The point is it wasn't another first down conversion for Maryland on that third down. So they aren't great. They are turning into good. And most importantly, they have a little clutch in them. And they were absolutely clutch today with that drive. And, hey, they were well prepared. Nebraska came out, did what they needed to do. Now it's about slamming and locking the door, fellas. And I have a feeling we might be in for a sequel next Friday night here with another nail-biting ball game. It's life in the Big Ten. Take the overs unless it's Oregon, Indiana, and just go with it. And man, the energy and vibe we're down here in the rail yard feels so different, so good. Winning is that cure-all, and you can also acknowledge the team has work to do. But hey, it makes you feel good in that back and forth ball game where you left the door open, that you were able to at least slam it one final time with a 2-minute drill.
Hey, can we acknowledge what happened in the Big Ten today?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Northwestern beats Penn State in Happy Valley. Indiana wins at Oregon.
Called that one.
That is amazing. You know, Kurt Signetti, the job that he's doing in Indiana is reminding me, we talk about Baylor. He reminds me of Scott Drew going to Baylor and coached the basketball team when it was now the circumstances of the Baylor basketball program when Scott Drew took over much different. Indiana was just had a losing mindset in football. But when Scott Drew went to Baylor, it was like, dude, you are crazy for going there. This is going to kill your career. And all he did was eventually win a national championship and create a perennial power and stay there. Kurt Signetti, in 2 years at Indiana, has developed a program that is now a legit top 5 program, just won at Oregon, and could legitimately be the best team in the country right now. Ohio State, I think, is. And, it's amazing the job that he's doing. I hope he stays there. I hope he says, you know what, I know you all want me to go someplace else. What if I turn where I'm in right now a powerhouse? But good on. But that's an amazing win. And then for Nebraska to do what it did, I know Iowa and Wisconsin are still at it, but Indiana and Northwestern and what they did to Penn State, it's an amazing day in the conference.
Let's go to the phones. Elijah, who's checking in from Washington State?
It's Chuck. Chuck's with us. Chuck, go for it.
Chuck, thank you.
Guys, what a game. Oh, my gosh. I love Dylan, and then I hate Dylan, and then I love Dylan again. Emmett has emerged as a special player these last 2 games. Man, he is something special. I wanted to ask you guys, after this win, does Nebraska crack the top 25?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll say yes, but barely. They'll be at like 24 or 25.
FSU lost, so they might as well throw them in.
Yep.
I agree. Go Big Red. Thanks, guys.
I'm
Chuck, appreciate you.
I'm working to
Chuck,
gain,
thanks for checking in.
I'm working to gain information on this, Schmitty, but apparently Kenneth Williams was put on scholarship post game in the locker room. Can't confirm that. That's just what's going on.
Awesome.
Right now.
That's awesome for him.
So we'll see that video hopefully from the Husker content team. But Mike Eckler, probably with blood dripping from his forehead from headbutting people as they went off the sideline after the thrilling victory, probably just said, you know what, we're giving Kenneth a scholarship. But in all sincerity and seriousness, that was one of the key response moments for Nebraska where they took momentum back after a score by Maryland. You had Washington's return was big time. Nebraska ended up getting into the end zone on that drive and go back up by double digits. So it was a monster play when you look at a 3-point ball game on the road, -3 in the turnover battle. That is one of the plays that helped offset that turnover problem today. But Gray Woman, I get a kick out of your commentary. If I didn't need pills before, I need them. I need them now. But there's some happy pills because Nebraska won on the road and able to put a 2-minute drill together and escape Maryland. 489-1240. 489-1240. Skylar right on. Skylar chimes in on the stream. Special teams keeping Nebraska afloat this year, not on the bingo card. Find us on YouTube, Average Joe Sports Show, Real Red Reaction. On Twitter, AJ Sports Radio, KFOR, KFORnow.com. And the number to get in at 489-1240. 489-1240 or 800-825-5865. How are you reacting to this come from behind victory? 5-1, quoting John Mellencamp, says, come on, baby, make it hurt so good. Sometimes love don't feel like it should. Hurt so good. Pretty good.
That's good. Hey, how about Nebraska's receiving core?
Yes.
I'm kind of going back in time again. You know, I'm equating Emmett Johnson, just one run, to some moves that, you know, look like Johnny Rodgers-esque, but and Raiola, you know, the good or the bad, Nebraska lives and dies with it today. But I think part of it too on that last drive was you didn't have to wonder who he was going to throw the ball to because he has, I think if you look at this receiving core, any number of options that are viable options, you know, whether it's Hunter, whether it's Key, whether it's Lindenmeyer, whether it's one of the young people, young guys that are out there, or Emmett out of the backfield. And so I'm wondering, is this the, and granted, there's not a large sample size given the way Nebraska ran the ball through the 80s and 90s. Is this the best receiving core in Nebraska history overall?
I'd say so. I think this is an incredible group. I think it's a team with legit 2 or 3 NFL talents. Like, I think Isaiah Hunter could be an NFL talent. I mean, he plays a lot like Amon-Ra St. Brown. I know that's a hefty comparison, but the athleticism at his size at 6'1", 205, it can't be denied. I mean, the 50-50 ball that he turns into an 80-20 in the end zone was incredible. He takes a screen pass and goes 24 miles an hour, rumbles his way up the field, and just completely turns a 64-yard touchdown out of nothing. I mean, he's incredible. Jacory's, got a lot of talent. He's probably going to be somebody somewhere in the NFL. I believe that. And I think Dan Key's been a steady option for them. So I think you could certainly argue that this is the best stable of wide receivers that Nebraska's had maybe in program history. I'd certainly put it up there in the top 3.
I think it's better than the Bobby Thomas, Frosty Anderson, Dave Shamblin, and Chuck Melito group of the early 1970s.
I've got to go from a receiving core. Not going back that far, but I got to go with Westerkamp. I've got to go with Anunwa. And Stanley was on that receiving team as well.
Was he?
So was DeMornay Pearsonell, and so was Alonzo Moore.
I'll say it was Alonzo.
2013, 2014.
Alonzo and Westerkamp was the pairing I remember. Like, you had all those guys.
And you got Kenny Bell in there, too.
You had all those guys together. Like, Anunwa and Kenny Bell, like, half crossed over. Didn't Anunwa graduate after Kenny's freshman season? And then Anunwa was done in 13. Kenny was, I think, second team All Big Ten in 12.
Well, think about it. Look,
but point well made.
You can come up with 24 or 2014, 15. That's fine. But
Irving Fryer would like a word.
It's not a large sample size where you're going, well, we had, there was not much other than in the 80s and 90s. You just had the biggest pains in the ass blocking receivers in the country of all time. This group is not going to be confused with those guys who kicked everybody's asses for 4 quarters and picked up a couple of receiving yards a game, and we're happy with it. But right, I would agree with who you named, Chris, no question. But I think that if you look at the total group right now, that on that last drive, and you're thinking, well, Raiola's got Hunter, he's got Key, Lindenmeyer. You bring in Clark or somebody, and they've got a solid group of weapons that Raiola can choose from, as opposed to, say, go back to the drive in Missouri in 1997. Who the hell is Frost going to throw the ball to? Well, I guess Kenny Cheatham is the best athlete on the field, so he's probably the guy. But now you have legitimately 3 or 4 guys who will probably be playing in the NFL on Sundays. So, yeah, I agree with those guys you mentioned. But right now, 6 games into this season, that group is pretty special. And Raiola has legitimate weapons to go to if needed to win a game, and not just one guy that they got to try and get open.
Eric is requesting gambling advice from our own Big Red, Justice Rhodey. Can you work up a 10-team parlay?
By our powers combined, Justice and I are elite. Because he nailed this. I had Indiana outright. I also had Texas outright. Let it be known.
Wow.
I had Alabama outright.
Justice had Alabama. By our powers combined, we are a top-tier gambling duo. So I need to take Justice with me to the sports book. We got to cook up some things together.
We do.
I want to get your guys' thought, though. Matt Rule, after the game, this comes from Pete Thamel. He says, the narrative that we lose close games is over. That is the quote from Matt Rule. Your guys' thoughts. Is the narrative dead?
One more time.
Matt Rule saying the narrative that we lose close games is over.
Well, no, the narrative is now shifted, is that they turn double-digit leads into close games.
It's so they can reinforce the narrative.
We can win games that we've blown big leads.
We are amazing entertainment. Is what Matt Rule is saying.
They are.
We are must-see TV with a must-see quarterback with a must-see OC
and a great podcast.
So I've got Sig Up Dads feeling it, saying, "Let the process take its toll."
Huh. I feel like that's a good time. Can we take our first break of the show here? We're going to get the sponsors page.
We will step aside. More time for you here. 489-1240, 489-1240 to get in. It's Real Red Reaction, powered by Slim Chickens, 14th and Pine Lake, 84th and Old Shady. As appreciate Junior letting me tag along for Sig Up Dad's Day. Golf and football. A lot of oh no, oh yes in the rail yard, even before last call. So it works out well. It's Elijah Herbal. It's Justice Rhodey. It's the pride of Fairbury, Bill Dolman. Chris Schmidt, a quick timeout. We'll hear from Matt Rule. More of your comments here with KFOR and KFORnow.com.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock is here with tips to help protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication on your accounts, report phishing, and update your software on all your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, LifeLock is your best choice. LifeLock not only alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal information, but also fixes identity theft, guaranteed, or your money back. So stay smart, stay safe, and stay protected with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK. Terms to apply.
Life insurance is one of those things that just about everybody needs, but few people actually have. Hey, if you die unexpectedly without life insurance, guess what? You'll leave your family with even a bigger mess. Life insurance will help replace your family's income. It'll help cover burial expenses. Life insurance can even help pay off debt like credit cards and medical bills. Life insurance can even pay for college. And if you own a business and you die, life insurance can help your business from collapsing. It can even help cover estate taxes. Life insurance has never been more affordable and needed. Plus, you can always shop around even if you have a plan and save some money. So call the Life Insurance Quote Line right now for free pricing information.
800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. That's 800-917-8730.
Which room in your home could use new flooring? Carpets Direct is your #1 source for all things floors, providing free in-home estimates, unparalleled service, and a 2-year guarantee. Your home should be your sanctuary, and Carpets Direct has you covered. From plush carpet, luxury vinyl, hardwood, laminate, and sheet vinyl flooring, Carpets Direct is the ultimate flooring destination. Call or visit today, South 48th Street, Lincoln.
Sartor Heyman is celebrating 120 years of brilliance, and you could sparkle too. We're giving away a $6,000 diamond pendant to one lucky winner. It's simple. Register online right now at kfornow.com. Picture it, a stunning 1.2 carat diamond pendant worth $6,000. The perfect way to celebrate life's brightest moments or the ultimate gift for someone special. Don't wait. Enter today at kfornow.com and join Sartor Heyman as they celebrate 120 years of sparkle and tradition. Sartor Heyman, Lincoln's jeweler for life's shining moments.
Join the movement to end breast cancer. By supporting Making Strides Against Breast Cancer on October 19th, you're helping save lives through groundbreaking research discovery. You're providing patients, family, and caregivers with access to a 24/7 helpline for answers and support. When you donate to the American Cancer Society, you're providing help to those when and where.
This is the Real Red Reaction Show. Phones are open now, 402-489-1240.
Hey, and we're back here in the rail yard. Elijah Herbal, Justice Rhodey, the pride of Fairbury, Bill Dolman. Bill, you remember Matt Hoskinson. He's a proud Saget dad. Get the dump button ready, or maybe not. But, Haas, what do you say? Thriller today.
Hey, listen. Amazing win, big win on the road. Listen, any win on the road in the Big Ten is a big win. Proud of the Huskers in the way that they played. Maybe not in the way that they thought they would get it done, but a win is a win. I mean, the Big Ten is a tough place to play, and you win one on the road like that. I'm super proud of the team. Really, really proud of this team and the way they responded and the resilience that they showed.
You never lost faith?
I don't do that. I guess that's just me. I don't have that ability to lose faith. I'm a Husker through and through and through. And I kind of, when things weren't going our way, I kind of felt like we had the right type of players to respond in the way that they did. And you know what? They proved me right. I think we have a different group of players. They believe that they can win, and I can get down with that any day of the week.
So, better question: how did you shoot today?
Listen, I'm an elite level golfer. As Scotty Scheffler talks to me all the time about, like, Haas, how'd you hit that shot? And I'm like, Scotty, I'm not going to talk about my game like that. I don't like to go down that path, but I do occasionally. But I'm going to tell you right now, I was hitting bombs off the tee. I'm not going to talk about all the other parts of the game, but I was hitting bombs off the tee. That's what I do. Which way did they go is the bigger question.
Yeah, which direction did they go?
Listen, you can ask all the guys here I played with. A lot of them were down the middle. They're bombs. I made a couple long putts. I know my role. I think everybody, when you're playing a competition, know your role.
My role is to hit bombs. I make a few putts. I hit some okay iron shots, but I hit a bunch of bombs. It was pretty elite. You guys would be proud.
Where's Makovica been hiding?
Right behind me. I mean, where he usually belongs.
That's crazy.
What's amazing is Haas looks exactly the same now as he did when we were in the program together about 30 years ago. 100%.
No, you know what's up. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
How about the Pride of Fairbury, the Tom Osborne host, and Matt Hoskinson reuniting after a 2-minute drill victory in Maryland?
Listen, number one, Joel is probably in Vegas where he belongs. Like, it was just his birthday, by the way. He turned 50 years old. So everybody he's not going to like that I'm sharing that with you at all. He's not proud of that. He's scared of it.
It happens.
He might roll in some Just for Men. Yeah, we all get there. He might roll some Just for Men in that hair. Proud of him. I mean, he went to Vegas. He played some golf. He did the Vegas thing. But getting to the Huskers, look, I mean, we sit at a really good place in our program right now. I mean, how do you not love what Matt Rule's doing with our team? How do you not love that? Look, we're in a really good spot. He's done everything he said he was going to do. Get on the train, boys. This is what it's all about. Super proud of where we're at as a program.
I think it was Rock who said it earlier, who said we're seeing this team transform from a losing culture to a winning culture right in front of our eyes.
That's a real thing. You can learn how to win or you can learn how to lose. You guys all know this. You've watched the same stuff I've watched for 20 years. And we would find a way to lose that game historically. Would we not?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Like, you have to agree with me. Shake your head. Yes. We would find a way to lose that game. And this is not that. This is a different type of team. They're finding ways to win games. We should have won the Michigan game. We didn't even play that well. We did not play well. We should have won that game too. But this team found a way to get the job done. And you know what? I would not want to be Minnesota next Friday. I know we haven't played that well in their place. I'm telling you right now, Nebraska gets it done next Friday too.
We'll be up there. It'll be a Average Joe Road Show. Matt Hoskinson, 3-time national champ, standout Husker. Hoss, go get a burger, buddy. Thank you much for popping on. Good to see you again. It's been a while.
Thanks for having me on, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Go
Matt.
Big Red.
GBR, baby.
It's, former Husker Matt Hoskinson with us here, the Average Joe Sports Show, Real Red Reaction Show as well. Waiting the appearance of one Bill Hooks. Said he'd be hopping on with us here shortly. Nebraska gets it done. Well, he talked about the Minnesota game. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here, but Emmett Johnson's had that game circled. He just had the best day of his Husker career, and now he's got a revenge spot coming up against Minnesota next week. I'm excited for what Emmett can do in that football game, but I don't know if we're talking enough about Emmett Johnson here and his performance today. Career high in yardage. I think it was 23 touches for 193 yards for Emmett. He was on fire all day long, running hard. Maryland couldn't tackle him.
We have Zane, a proud SIG-Ep that's here for a little Real Red Reaction karaoke. What'd you think?
Of the game? Yeah,
What'd you think of your golf group's alcohol consumption today first?
That's
high. Very high. A lot. And we're getting dialed again, so let's go. Let's go. Yeah.
Zane, I have to ask you, did you walk onto the 18th hole stumbling or straight?
Straight.
Back to the game. What'd you think?
So coming in, Maryland is a good team. They're good. So I honestly thought it was going to be a close game, and it was. But I did bet on Nebraska spread, and it did not go well. So a little mad about it.
Love the honesty.
And I think Dylan Raiola needs to be a little more active, a little more pocket presence is what I'd say. A little more pocket presence because he does not have any at all, and it's a problem.
But it worked out. It worked out. Zane, Like it. Good stuff. Appreciate you popping on Real Red Reaction with the Average Joe Show, bud.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys. Thank you.
There he is. We may have a few more stragglers if you guys are good with that from time to time.
What's funny is you asked the question, what'd you think? And he asked, what, like about the game?
He was thinking about something else.
What else would you like to interview me about? I'm a man of many interests.
We should ask him about Foursquare on the elementary playground.
About the game?
Tell me about Reno and the guy that tends bar with him and what we owe. Yeah.
Look, you know, the game at Minnesota next week.
It's going to be on fire. That's going to be so much fun.
I know, but it's a game that I don't think we need to be looking ahead to. I think this win over Maryland needs to be appreciated for what it was, and I am almost ready to say it doesn't matter what happens next week for Nebraska. It does, but I don't want to lose sight. And I know Kobe, says I'm not enjoying this win, and for Nebraska, I am enjoying this win. That game had all kinds of drama and twists and turns, and we've not seen a finish like that in a long, long time, and maybe not since '97 at Missouri, or the win at Texas A&M with the Zach Taylor pass. Those don't happen very often. Westerkamp, but for Nebraska to pull that out and get the win and get to 5 wins, a win shy of bowl eligibility, which, look, we've been talking about, will Nebraska be bowl eligible by the end of November in the past few years? They're going to get a 6th win. Okay, so that's a foregone conclusion. I think the CFP is probably still a little far-fetched, but, on any given Saturday. But I think this is a win to enjoy for what it is, and it's almost reminding me a little bit of the bowl win over Boston College in December. That with that game, Nebraska reached a plateau. I think that game was so important for Matt Rule's program that they got that extra time. And not only did they get the extra time and the practice and all of that, and they got the stage for a day in Manhattan, but they pulled off a win that sets the stage to build off of for winter conditioning and for recruiting and all of that. And I think today's win on the road is one of those plateau moments that you just appreciate it for what they were able to accomplish. And if they should lose on Friday, I don't think it's a backsliding moment. I think that Nebraska learned something about itself. It gained confidence that it can come back and win when it has to. They've got great receivers in clutch time. They've got an alpha back, and that they can win games. So should Nebraska win next week? Yes, but I think that this is a plateau moment for Nebraska football at Matt Rule's program. And no, I don't think Penn State's going to take him away. I think this is a program that continues to build from here.
One thing
you lose this game today,
about, Captain?
And it would have been a backsliding moment. But you've one more time.
Well, Captain says, what am I talking about? I'm talking about don't look ahead to Minnesota. And I don't think that it's so much as on Nebraska's got to win at Minnesota. I think you appreciate this win for what it was and what it can do for the program going forward. And I think this is I don't want to say signature, but I think for Matt Rule, this is like the Boston College win, that it's a benchmark and you build from here. I don't think you have to win at Minnesota, because I don't think a win at or a loss at Minnesota detracts from what they did today. This was important today. That's all I'm saying. It's a benchmark game.
Guys, one thing to note here moving forward, and I don't want to bring the mood down here, but Nebraska still has left tackle controversy. I'm not sure if you guys noticed. After that holding call, it was Turner Corcoran playing left tackle the rest of the football game. Pritchett was back to the side.
Good. And that was the right move, because Turner's been in college longer than Tommy Callahan. So it worked. He was ready, and he performed, and he didn't get beat. And it was an obvious passing setup with that 2-minute drill. Good for Nebraska making the move they needed to make. I want to go here along with your Corcoran comment. When you bump into listeners and other folks out in the rail yard after the pick six, and the rail yard's been jammed. To a T, everyone turns to their buddy they're with and says, "Where's Latif?" There's that out there, right? Where the expectations of Dylan are pretty enormous, and he delivered big time on 3rd and 10 last week. He delivered today with a 2-minute drill. I know we keep underlining that, but there's this expectation, guys. Do you think by the fans for him to play flawless football? And look, quarterbacks are gonna throw interceptions, and sometimes they're gonna throw pick sixes, and sometimes they're gonna have a day where their numbers look like Joe Daly, where it's 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, and they don't win the game very often. What's your feel on, I guess, the expectations and the mood around Dylan right now? Right now, you love him because of his last hit. That hit was a touchdown pass to give you the lead.
I mean, I'll take this first. I think there's expectations on him to be not only just like a good quarterback, but like the savior of the program. I think there's a legitimate expectation that people believe that Dylan Raiola is the guy to drag Nebraska out of the muck and mire of mediocrity that's been taking place for over 10 years now since Bo Pelini got fired. I mean, I think that's the expectation. They look at the 5-star billing, they see the name, former Husker, and I think it's instantly slapped on up along with the price tag that's been put on his name and that's been, widely known for a while. I think there's been expectations that he's not only supposed to play really, really well, but he's supposed to be the savior of the program. And the savior of the program can't make mistakes in a lot of people's eyes. I think we get misconstrued expectations. Listen, the interceptions today were atrocious. They were horrible turnovers. He stared down a receiver on the first pick. The second one, he didn't get the ball far enough out of bounds. And the third one, he throws it right to a guy behind the receiver, and it's a pick six because nobody's in the area. They were bad reads. It was bad post-snap processing a couple times. And the second time, he got flushed, and he got flustered under pressure. But he did stick it out, and in a moment where last year he would have turned and folded and this team would have had no opportunity, Dylan Raiola dragged that team in a 2-minute drill scenario that Nebraska, frankly, over the past couple of years hasn't been good in, and he dragged them into a 2-minute scenario with some wide receiving help. He was able to get them down. I think there is a lot of expectations placed on Dylan. Are some of them too lofty? I would believe so. But are some of them also warranted because of the price tag and the billing that he had? Absolutely. So I think we're walking a fine line here, but ultimately I think people are tapping him as the savior of the program, and I think that's really lofty expectations to put on the shoulders of a 20-year-old kid.
Can you separate the 3 interceptions from the grit he showed late in that football game to drive you down, get the field goal, and a touchdown drive? Can you separate those, or you have to look at them together?
I think, because the end game, the end goal is to leave DC 5-1. They did. And I think, I don't know about you guys, but whenever a coach felt comfortable with a lead to put Schmidt in the ball game, whatever sport that may be, and you go screw up, sometimes that lingers with you. The mental toughness part of it is very real, and he has it. His coaches absolutely have made it part of the culture that you've touched on, Elijah, and I can separate it. The question is are you gonna see corrections? Are you gonna see next Friday night the same thing where you're careless with the football? What did we see today? Nebraska, with their game plan, really didn't allow Maryland to tee off. So you saw the offensive line get better, which was big. But when it comes to Dylan, I can absolutely separate it because he went out and after 3 turnovers, after some rough quarterback play, some poor decision-making, some careless decisions, he found a way after all of that to go out and finish and win it with his teammates. I can absolutely separate the bad and the good because that good is a win, and that's the heaviest weight to me is you get out with a win because of the plays you made down the stretch after such horrific play.
Quick note here, guys. We've reached the top of the hour, so I do have to remind that you are listening to the Real Red Reaction Show on KFOR Lincoln. That's FM 101.5, 1240 AM. Also streaming online, KFORnow.com. I believe that fulfills the requirements for our legal ID at the top of the hour.
Good man.
As a reminder, you can also stream the Real Red Reaction Show online Find the Real Red Reaction Show on YouTube, or find the Average Joe Sports Show on YouTube. KFOR Radio on Facebook and Twitter as well are all places you can check out the show online. But if you're listening on the air, this is KFOR Lincoln 101.5 FM and 1240 AM KFOR. I think I've done my job there. Is that correct?
Good due diligence there.
Yep.
No,
Game Dog checks in.
Approves.
Game Dog checked in with Nebraska's secondary. Guys, what'd you think of Nebraska's secondary? I thought there was some miscommunication. I thought there was some blown coverage. Not a 10, but there were some guys open, wide open with Maryland running free, and I thought the tackling was problematic at times. It wasn't the way it started out being. Nebraska started out really sure tackling, and Maryland felt comfortable enough to line up and run the football, which got Nebraska on their heels a little bit. So, yeah, and I said this once the no-fly zone poster went up on social media. It's all well and good, and that's pretty cool, but be careful of tooting your own horn a little too loud, and usually you get humbled. And Nebraska's secondary, they didn't get torched, but they got picked apart from time to time. Part of that's the pass rush, too. We thought Maryland may have a pretty decent offensive line. They allowed 1 sack today, a handful of TFLs, but overall, coming into this contest, Maryland only allowed 2 sacks, so it wasn't going to be as turnstile-esque as it was against Michigan State. So Nebraska faced a better offensive line in Maryland, but secondary, they'll refocus. No, undoubtedly, John Butler's smiling they won and screaming out of the other side of his mouth, probably on the plane ride home about the secondary performance. So he'll no doubt go ahead and clean it up. And Black Hills Brennan says the Maryland wide receiver core pretty good. I thought they would be, but I just sometimes you get pats on the back. It makes you feel too good.
Can we acknowledge Fleming being open on that last drive?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you mean the crossing tight end? Yes.
At the very end when Washington was under pressure. Was that second down? But he had Fleming wide open. It looked like the wayward punt against Michigan State where there's nobody on that side of the field and he didn't see him. Oh my God, that was a scary scene to watch. But let's ditch the mid-season platitudes and all that stuff. Just play ball. They're good. They're good.
I kind of agree with that. I think Schmidt called it. I think Schmidt nailed it on the head in the Friday pregame prediction where you had your eerie feeling about this secondary. They were due for a letdown spot. And it was against a pretty darn good Maryland receiving core. I mean, Octavian Smith, Shalik Nance, Jarrell Farouk, and Dorian Fleming, the tight end, those are real dudes. I mean, those are guys that can separate in man coverage, and they showed it. And they found soft spots in the zone. Malik Washington was mobile. He was able to move the pocket himself. I mean, they made life difficult on you. They forced you to cover for longer than 3 seconds, and they forced you to really have to play sticky in coverage. And I just didn't think Nebraska was up to the level today. There was a lot of zone. They played pretty soft. Maryland found the gaps. The pass rush wasn't there. Credit Maryland's offensive line. Thought they did pretty decent in their pass sets. Weren't amazingly physical running the ball as an offensive line, but as a passing offensive line, I mean they got in their pass protection sets pretty well, and that was a talented Maryland skill group. But yeah, I think Nebraska was due for a letdown spot, and Schmidt hit it on the head in Friday's pregame, and yeah, I mean they have to build back because Minnesota's not going to put out the same horses that Maryland did.
489-1240. You want to get in a few more comments? Elijah, how long do we go over the air and how long do we go after dark? And we still got to get Matt Rule.
Yeah, we have a phone call coming in, so I'll give you a second there. We have 25 more minutes on the air and 11 minutes of Rule, including a 3-minute commercial break. That's what we're looking at timing-wise while I grab the phones here.
Okay. So
Cincinnati beat UCF, by the way, today. Somebody was asking about Cincinnati.
Yeah,
they beat Central Florida 20-11, and that drops UCF down to 3-3 after their big wins over Jacksonville State and the like. Cincinnati is now 5-1 on the season, with its lone loss being to Nebraska in the season opener. That's your Cincinnati update today.
Here's what's going to need to happen the rest of October and the rest of the season for Nebraska to keep winning ball games. More Emmett Johnson, more run game performance like you had today, home and road. And with Dylan, you had 2 quarters of not great football, not all on him, but he's the trigger man, where your offense was sputtering a bit. And you're going to need to play better and make better decisions, right? Turnovers are going to happen, but it can't. You're not going to have another game like this season where you're -3 in the turnover margin and you're going to win. Got away with one today. You made your own breaks with that win, that winning drive. But Nebraska, they can't have this type of quarterback play. They want the 2-minute drill part of that. Okay. They want the first half, Dylan. But you can't have these lapses. And he's going to need to play better football moving forward. And I think he can.
Guys, can we go to the phone lines here? Darian's been hanging on for us.
Darian, thanks for joining Real Red Reaction. Go ahead.
Yeah, great win today, boys. Construction criticisms for today. Can we just stop thinking that we can always make a 4-3, 4-4, where we're less than 20 yards, in the red zone? Can we just start getting points again instead of feeling like we have to make the big play or the big effort? Because realistically, we could have, against Michigan State, and even today, gotten extra points on the board that wouldn't have made this game feel as close as it did.
And I love the attitude, the want to play power football. Anytime you line up in that jumbo formation and you're trying to run the football from under center versus shotgun, Nebraska's not been able to do it.
Well, and the one note is that first 4th down, Justice and I were talking about this before the show. I think it would have ended up being a 55-yard field goal. Is that what the math would have been?
Yeah, it was a 54 to 55-yarder, just eyeballing it. I mean, you love what Cunanan can do, but that is a tough ass to go get that one.
So that's one of those that's a little marginal for me. But I agree with your point for the most part. I was a little nervous. They ended up making the right decision after the delay of game to kick the field goal late in that football game.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And I think that Raiola and all of our skill players have the ability to play at the peak. And when they play at the peak, they are an elite level team. I mean, we're easily, top 15 talent wise, but we just need to get everybody clicking on the same page. And I think we have the ability to go out.
Darian, good stuff. Thank you so much for listening and giving us a shout on Real Red Reaction. Appreciate your input, sir. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, Darian, good to hear from him. 489-1240, 489-1240 or 800-825-5865. 14th in Pine Lake, 84th at Old Cheney, and soon to be up on, help me out, Elijah, North 84th?
Yeah, 84th and Adams.
84th and Adams for the good folks at Slim Chickens, helping power Real Red Reaction. The other thought, too, is you don't need to make life so difficult. You have the thrill of victory, Bill and Justice, and then you have the reality of this was another situation where there was some self-infliction that you overcame. That's what's different this season.
Oh, I thought Justice was going to jump in there.
No, I was waiting for the professor to get
no.
intellectual thought in.
It's your show.
Well, I was just going to say that I agree because, listen, the trick play to Harburg to have him run the ball at the end, I thought it was a little cute. I wish at times, especially after the EJ 50-yard pop, and then they immediately go with a couple of pass plays. I'm sitting there going, guys, you've been leaning on them all game. At that point, you got to go back to the hammer, right? I mean, they've been pounding the nail, and you want to get that driven in so you can get the railroad up and moving, but they take out the power drill and they try to screw it in with a couple of pass plays. I'm like, guys, just get the hammer back out and keep going after them. You've got them on the back foot. And so at points, it just feels like they get a little too cute. They've done some double reverse stuff. The Harburg QB sweep thing, I was like, I think you could do better by just going traditional, get guys up on the line, power football. I'm with you, Bill. I would love to see a fullback back in, throw a traditional fullback back in there, whether it's a defensive end, playing there like Ty Robinson did last year, or give me a true fullback. I think an extra block would be great, but I would love to see some power football in the red zone. I think they try to get a little too cute in the end zone. I love an RPO, but maybe let's stop it with the fake plays.
Let's
go to
on the touchdown. I mean, Jake Butts said, I think you got to run it here. And I'm thinking, I think you got to run it here. And Dane Key made a great catch and a great twisting play to get into the end zone. So in the end, it worked, but I think anybody watching that and knowing Nebraska's ability to not get points, inside the 10 and inside the 5 is thinking, yeah, run the ball. You got a guy with 176 yards and they're not stopping the run. So why not just pound it and score? But nope, we throw on first down, run on second, throw on third. And then I know Dylan is confident, but we got to quit treating him like he's James Vanderbeek and Jonathan Moxley. He wants to go for it on every fourth down every time. And it's like, well, Mox wants to go, so I guess we got to go. Yes, the best thing that happened was the delay of game penalty. They had to kick the field goal to get the points, which ended up being the final margin of victory. Do we have confidence that Nebraska was going to score on fourth down and goal? I don't have that kind of confidence. They've not proven that consistently they can put points on inside the 10-yard line. So when it's fourth down and 4 and Mox wants to go for it, well, I guess we got to go for it because Pat would. I get the points. The best thing that happened was and I hate to say it that way, but they had to kick the field goal.
Yes.
Because I'm not convinced that they would have scored on fourth down and goal from the 4-yard line. So they got lucky. They got lucky that they had to kick it.
Lucky and good. That the theme in DC. Let's go to Sam on the line. Dave, hang on. We'll get to you too. Sam, thanks for calling. And go ahead. Welcome to Real Red Reaction on KFOR.
Well, I appreciate you guys taking my call, and I'll tell you what, Emmett Johnson, that guy ran so angry today.
Mm-hmm.
That guy, I'll tell you what, it's been a long time. You got to go back to Amir Abdullah, okay? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, absolutely. Little Amir to him, for sure.
And I'll tell you what, Emmett Johnson, man, he carried his team on his back, and I'll tell you what, he was right out there with Dylan Raiola, okay? He was right out there. He's like, man, look, if you need somebody to throw the ball to, I'm right here, Nick. Okay, I'm going to take the ball to the house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know what? Nebraska, that was one of the best wins. Look, I was born in '66, okay? And I'll tell you what, man, I haven't seen a great football game like I just seen today. That was fantastic. There was points where I thought, man, you know what? We're probably going to lose this game, but you know what? Nebraska came through, and hey, go Big Red.
Hey, if you're born in 1966,
Sam, thank you much for the phone call.
If you're born in '66, you're not that old, so that's not that long ago. Let's not think you're like Father Time or something. Okay,
vintage.
Yeah, come on,
Sam. Thanks for the call.
Yep, Sam, nice job, brother. I'm trying to think of games where they snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. Maybe '97, Nebraska, Missouri. If you're going way back in time, that was one of those back and forth things like this ain't going well, and they pulled the win out of that. There's the Kellogg throw to Westerkamp, and like I mentioned, Zach Taylor with his throw to was it Mo in Texas A&M? Yeah, games like that. But back and forth games where you think you're going to win on the road and you end up fighting for it. Now, the game in 97 had a lot more on the line given the national championship picture, and you're the number one team in the country. But, man, to find a way at the end, they did it, and it was a great catch in the end zone. Dane Key was fantastic. He probably made himself some money today for some of the catches that he made. Hunter made some money today, not just NIL dollars, but I'm talking there are numbers on the draft board that have got to be going, you know what, those guys are pretty good. So good on them for coming through and helping out in the win.
Let's go to Dave. Dave's been hanging on. Dave, thanks for listening to Real Red Reaction here on KFOR. Go for it.
Yeah, this is the other Dave from the chat. So.
Hey, Dave, how are you? How was the game, dude?
Well, yeah, I'm up in Flagstaff at our cabin, and I can tell you one thing. We had a crock pot on for about 7 hours, and those potatoes are nice and crispy.
Take that with your mashed potatoes, Elijah. He said we're running the ball on first down.
Yeah, but I want to read you guys a few stats I looked up. Since 2000, FBS teams with a -3 turnover margin have only won 16% of the time. And if you have a pick six against you, the team with a pick six wins 87% of the time.
Wow.
And if you combine those and you ask ChatGPT, which I did, that equals a 10% chance of winning. So we're really lucky to win this game. And I don't know, is it the moxie and resolve and rule just warning us all that everything's going to be so close? We have a winning culture all of a sudden.
I mean, that's what we're seeing. It feels like a winning culture. Whenever the guys go make winning plays, and a play we haven't talked about was Heinrich Harburg's play on the sideline when Dylan rolls right, and I don't know how Heinrich Harburg caught that thing. Another play. That's another winning play. We've talked about so many winning plays down the stretch. To get back, Matt Rule said they've broken the stigma of being a team that loses close games. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But I do believe that we are seeing.
We did today.
That we are seeing a team that has transformed from a losing culture to a winning culture before our eyes. We have seen that.
It's a young team that's growing up right before your very eyes. I mean, you're seeing it. I mean, it's a baby taking its first steps. I mean, you are starting to see the flow of life start to happen for this team, and it may be frustrating at times. I mean, they may break some crayons, they may write on the walls a little bit, but I'll tell you what, they're growing up right before your very, very eyes. It's a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, and I'll
Dave.
And apologies, my reception here is notoriously bad, so it's coming through clear. That's luck. If we end up winning a lot of close games by 3 points, and we don't face a ranked team due to the schedule of USC and Penn State, I'm like, oh my Jesus, that's just amazing what's happening to them. But if we end up 10-2, and we've got 3-point wins over people, like Maryland and Minnesota and even Northwestern, are we still going to make the playoffs without a ranked win? I mean, that's what I worry about.
I look back to what Indiana did last year. Indiana needed 11-1 to make it in. That's kind of what I look at for Nebraska this year.
And then they didn't win by 3.
We'll see what happens with Michigan against USC tonight. USC has the early lead in that football game, so we'll see what happens there. That might determine what November 1st looks like for Nebraska. That's a big game for Husker fans if they do want to make a college football playoff this year. But my take right now is 10-2 might leave you on the outside looking in, because Indiana, Oregon, Ohio State, and then it'd be probably Michigan in that 4th spot right now in the Big Ten. I think the Big Ten still gets 4. You have to find a way to jump over a team in Michigan that you have already lost to. And that's kind of the concern. That's why I think it'd probably take 11-1 and some help from Michigan.
You need Michigan to keep rolling. Washington.
I don't think you need Michigan to keep rolling. I think you need Michigan to be solid, but I think you need to overtake them, because as it stands right now, I don't see Indiana, Oregon, or Ohio State dropping out of the college football playoff race in the Big Ten. And I think the Big Ten only gets 4.
Well, Michigan right now is your bubble team. How does the rest of their season go? Do you jump them? Do you jump SC if they?
Well, I don't think
there's a lot of There's a lot of elimination out there.
Yeah.
Hey, look,
So we're rooting for USC tonight, according to Elijah. Is that right?
I think so, because I think USC with the win over Michigan, that win looks better for you if you were able to take down.
You need
USC.
him to beat Notre Dame too.
Yep.
Yeah, and that gives Michigan 2 losses, and if they lose to Ohio State, that's 3, then maybe we get in. Yeah,
we're going to give ourselves an aneurysm here if we keep thinking of Nebraska's playoff chances, though, moving forward.
Look,
it's just win every single week and hope the pieces fall into place.
Darn right.
Look at it this way, though. if Nebraska is ranked and then gets upset in Happy Valley by Penn State, I mean, they're probably out of the college football playoff picture, right?
Well, Drew Aller's now out for the season, so that Penn State.
I know, but if
that might mean they start winning.
I mean, just think about that.
That might improve. Yeah.
Think about that. The one game on Nebraska's schedule going on into this season that you knew they were going to, everybody said it's a loss. It's at Penn State. And as it stands right now, Nebraska could be ranked in that game and Penn State not be ranked in Happy Valley. So losing to an unranked Penn State team might cost Nebraska a chance to the college football playoff. Who saw that coming?
That's a crazy
August?
Sentence to say. Penn State upsets Nebraska in Happy
That's
Valley.
what I'm
That is
saying.
nuts.
That's what I'm
nuts statement.
saying. That's how crazy it is.
This is nuts.
I love getting ahead of our skis. It's been a while.
That's good. Dave, thank you much for checking in, bud.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Great talking to you guys.
All right, there he is, the other Dave with us. 489-1240 to get in. 489-1240 to get in. 800-825-5865. Happy, rail yard where I'm at. Bill Dolman in his living room. Elijah Herbal, Justice Rhodey in studio as Real Red Reaction powered by Slim Chickens. 84th and Pine Lake. 14th and Pine Lake. 84th and Old Cheney. And 84th and Adams, a soon-to-be new location. Tiger Shark says, I heard Bill Dolman is in talks for the UCLA job.
True.
Possibly.
Words out.
Possibly. We're gonna take a timeout. We're gonna take more calls. We're gonna go after dark here shortly, and move away from KFOR radio. We'll be on the stream for a little bit longer. We'll hear from Matt Rule. That's coming up as well. You're listening to Real Red Reaction powered by Slim Chickens.
Get tired and want to quit trick-or-treating before you've hit all the best houses? You know, the ones that hand out full-size candy bars. This Halloween, fuel your little goblins with hearty sandwiches made on Country Hearth Kids' Choice bread before heading out. Made the old-fashioned way with whole grains and natural sweeteners, Country Hearth breads are a treat the whole family will love. And as any monster will tell you, the best nights start with a great bite. Country Hearth, baked locally and delivered fresh daily.
Life insurance is one of those things that just about everybody needs, but few people actually have. Hey, if you die unexpectedly without life insurance, guess what? You'll leave your family with even a bigger mess. Life insurance will help replace your family's income. It'll help cover burial expenses. Life insurance can even help pay off debt like credit cards and medical bills. Life insurance can even pay for college. And if you own a business and you die, life insurance can help your business from collapsing. It can even help cover estate taxes. Life insurance has never been more affordable and needed. Plus, you can always shop around even if you have a plan and save some money. So call the Life Insurance Quote Line right now for free pricing information.
800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. That's 800-917-8730.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033. 800-936-9033.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. KFOR joins the Lincoln Education Association for the 29th Annual Harvest of Books. October 1st through October 17th, purchase a book for a first grader in the Lincoln Public, Private, or Parochial Schools at a discounted price at participating bookstores. Barnes & Noble, Francie & Finch, and Sauer Books. New books can also be dropped off at the LEA office or send your cash donations to the Lincoln Education Office at 4920 Normal Boulevard, 68506. The 29th Annual Harvest of Books with KFOR.
Lincoln's local news, talk, sports, and weather station. Anything goes. Anything can be said. The Real Red Reaction Show is live now on KFOR.
The Real Red Reaction Show rolls forward here on KFOR. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbal, Bill Dolman, and Justice Rhodey with you here. One final segment on KFOR. We go to the phone lines where Joe is hanging on. Joe, good to hear from you here on Real Red Reaction. Go for it. Joe, you still with us? Go for it.
Yep. Hey, I just going to say, it seems like we're pretty good in the first and fourth quarter. The second, third, we kind of struggle. And I know Dylan's a good quarterback, but I'm just saying it seems like it wouldn't have come down to nail biters, all I'm saying. Nothing against Dylan, but it seems like it comes down to nail biter, and it shouldn't have to, because basically off his turnovers, to give up 17 points, well, defense kind of make, slide 7, but 10 points for sure off of Dylan's turnovers. And, I don't know, man. It just seems kind of how it comes down. He's good in the fourth quarter. That's fine, but it shouldn't come down to nail biter. That's all I got to say on that.
No, Joe, you're right. 17 points off turnovers is what it was for Maryland. And they'll try and get it figured out for next Friday, but you'll take the win for sure. Appreciate you tuning in on Real Red Reaction. Appreciate you, Joe. Thank you much. 489-1240. You can still call in. The calls can transfer to the stream. We are saying fare thee well and thank you much on KFOR, KFORnow.com. And we'll post this show on the YouTube channels for Average Joe and Real Red Reaction, KFORnow.com also, and KFOR Radio on Twitter. Let's step away on the radio side. Thanks for tuning in to KFOR Lincoln.
And we stay live on the stream. The Real Red Reaction Show continues on here on not KFOR, but the Real Red Reaction Show on YouTube, on Twitter, X, on Facebook, wherever you get the Real Red Reaction Show and the Average Joe Sports Show online is where you're now listening to us. Plenty more still to get to. We have comments from Matt Rule in the can, all ready to go. We also have confirmation the Husker football team has posted a very, very cool video. Kenneth Williams did, in fact, earn a scholarship. Was surprised with that after the game, and there is an awesome, awesome video that the Husker football team has posted up on Twitter that everyone can check out once we finish up the Real Red Reaction Show. Don't leave just yet. The video will stay there. We won't, so I'm not encouraging you to leave the post-game show just yet, but check out that video here in a minute once we do finally wrap up this show.
What's the status on one Bill Hooks live from Maryland?
He's no longer in Maryland. He told me about an hour ago he'd be on in 30 minutes, so unsure.
Maybe Bill Hooks is enjoying some of the finer refreshments that Maryland and the greater DMV area have to offer.
Well, no, he said he had a good gaggle of folks over at his place and that it was pretty lively. So he was going to wait for it to die down just a little bit before he hopped on with us. So crossing our fingers that the party doesn't go too far into the night in the Hooks household.
Let's hear from Matt Rule. How's that sound?
Let's do it.
All right, Matt Rule, his post game here on Real Red Reaction, powered by Slim Chickens.
Before anyone takes a picture of their hats, someone made those. I'm not selling hats. Okay, someone walked up on the street and handed it to Julie, so I'm not in the merch business yet. First of all, credit to Maryland. They battled. It's 24-14. They could have walked away. They battled back. I think there was, however many unanswered, 17 or whatever it was. I think that quarterback's going to be dynamic. He played really well. Couldn't get to him. They found a way to run the football to a degree, we were, I think we're -3 on the day on the turnover margin. So, our turnovers, led to 17 points for them, so they scored 10 points in the first half off, and then obviously the pick six. love the resolve of our guys. They continue to battle. Special teams continues. I mean, you got when I tell you how much I love this team, and you got Kenneth Williams doesn't even have a scholarship. He's out there running that kickoff return back. So he does now, by the way. That was wrong. That wrong was righted after the game. But no, just proud of our guys, and I want to give credit to them too. Questions?
I know you've experienced Nebraska fans before, but to have 10,000 here, and then kind of the team comes back out and celebrates that moment for you guys emotionally.
Yeah, I went and I'm like a get in the locker room, yes sir, say that, whatever. I went and got him and said, go back out. Like, that was palpable the way it felt. I mean, you could feel it. And, you get in those moments where it's like, oh no, you were down 7, in terms of like, you can sometimes feel it. And I thought our crowd just became electric. And, even like, the run by Emmett, just like the feeling down there just almost felt inevitable that we were going to score because of, everything that was happening, and especially, from the crowd. So I have to give a ton of credit to the fans and the crowd that was here.
We were sent a team out of the locker room after a game.
Yeah, I think maybe I did once before at Temple. We didn't get the kind of crowds we get here, so I think we had one great crowd, and I did it. But it wasn't planned. It wasn't anything. It was just more like, I have a bunch of guys that do exactly what they're told. They're trying to get in because, we want to get in and get on the road. But I wanted to make sure that I want our players to enjoy that moment. It's 2 straight close. There was a time where we were talking about bowl droughts and never winning a close game. Well, we're figuring a lot of that stuff out. So I wanted them to enjoy that moment, that reaction with their families, with their friends, with their fans, the people that came here. And so this is living. Like, you don't get to feel this very often. You know what I mean? Like in our, and so I want them to enjoy it as long as possible.
Can you speak on what Emmett gave you, just the balance he added to the offense, especially when the throwing game had some issues at times to have the ground game go?
Yeah, so we came out of last game and we looked at the numbers and we were like, 5.5, 6 yards a carry. We had a bunch of good runs. So we just said, hey, and we knew that they have these freshman edge rushers that are really, really dynamic in 29 and 9. So we were just like, hey, we're going to run the football, especially early. And, the first drive, we clear, like, I think of our first 11 runs, I think 6 or 7 of them were 6+ yard runs. So we were feeling good, but Emmett was on fire. And, I think 2 plays that really stand out to me are the play where Dylan was getting hit in the backfield, spun out and hit Luke. And then Luke went down the sideline. And then obviously Emmett's long run. I mean, I was screaming at the officials and then he kept still running because I didn't know, we're not screaming, but just screaming like, to run. And I didn't realize he was even still running at some point. They're just such a great run. So, I just think Emmett's the ultimate competitor, but you look at him, like I said, he's third in Big Ten in rushing, so Dana wanted to get him some more attempts, and they did a good job of controlling the clock for a team that's not really a running offense, a passing offense. They did have the ball quite a bit, and then our turnovers in the first half hurt us, so we didn't get a ton of rhythm, but we knew eventually we would break through.
In your words, what does it say about Dylan to come back and lead the team to that score after what had happened?
Yeah, I mean, one of the moments of my coaching, coming up in coaching, I was a young assistant offensive line coach for the Giants. And in the first half, I don't know if it was 4 or 5 interceptions Eli Manning threw against Tampa Bay. And he came back and won the game, like a kind of a walk-off play like that. And I just remember being like those guys don't get to feel sorry for themselves. They just got to keep playing. And so, Dylan was banged up. He was, hit in the thigh in the first half. Obviously that one pick that, the kid hit him late. But he's just the ultimate competitor. It's why I get upset, sometimes when people, the national media, it's all the Mahomes compare. I'm like, this guy's a stone cold fighting winner and he wants to win so badly. Ja'Cory, you guys saw that punt return, that last punt return, he reverses field, gets laid out. And instead of running off the field, he just runs right back in the huddle. Man, like, how can you not be inspired by those guys? So, I mean, Dylan, he'll go back and look at the tape. You kind of live by the Sardavas for the touchdown he threw to Dane in the back of the end zone. I mean, that might have been, not a great decision, but he made it and he made the play. The last touchdown to Dane there, the one-handed catch, like that ball's at 6 inches less. It's picked off. It's a perfect throw, perfect catch. So, I'm proud of the kid.
Was the second interception trying to throw that ball out of bounds?
I don't know. I'd have to ask him. Yeah, just kind of like, Glenn does such a good job with those guys. And my thing was like, hey guys, if it's not there, let's just throw it away. Like we were in great rhythm. We were feeling good. And we decided to take a shot. Isaiah had run by them, earlier. We just felt like our long speed, we were going to be able to run by them. And, a little pressure. And we just like to throw that ball away and keep playing. So I'm not super sure.
You've not had a game-winning drive on offense in your time here. What
What kind of confidence, what kind of momentum do you think that can build for you now? You're at the halfway point of the season going forward because of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing always, right? Like, do we have to be in that situation? Like, did we have to have 3 interceptions? We didn't tackle very well tonight? Like, we were diving at the ground a lot. No, they also have there are elite skill players there, and so that's my biggest gripe right now with our conference. Like that's a good football team, and I don't know if we push that enough. Like Maryland's they're talented as could be, and so they were hard to tackle. So I guess my point is like, did we have to be in that position? With that being said, we scored 10 points in the final 7-6 minutes, right? Like that's what winning teams do. And on defense, you got to put them away. And then, by the way, they still had, I would say, by the way, not to you, Mitch, I'm saying to our team, I'm like to the team, like, hey, by the way, like they still had a chance to go down and win it at the end, and then they make the play on 3rd and whatever. And you're like, but then we made the play on 4th. So, yeah, I think in terms of momentum, I think it just continues to breed confidence. The biggest thing I felt was like no one was panicked on the sideline, but they weren't panicked last week. Like the Cincinnati game, that's three close wins, that comes down to the end, and our guys are very, very comfortable in the 4th quarter. And really, these are all the questions you guys have asked me about, like, hey, how are we going to get over this thing? And I said, hey, we're going to inoculate them by doing it all the time. We're going to teach it at a high level, and I thought we did it pretty well there. So that being said, we were 5-1 last year. And so, it's just about playing the next game, playing the next play, playing the next game. As corny as that sounds, man, I sit there the whole game. I can just tell you my nerves inside, guys, are going 100 miles a minute, and I just say play the next play, like just keep playing. So I'm preaching that. I believe it. Well, I think, in fairness to our guys, I think we're just better. I mean, I think our guys battled. My first year, I love those guys. Like whatever success we have here moving forward, I'll always look back to the Reimers and the Nick Henriches and all those guys. Like those guys were absolute warriors. And so, I remember Ty Robinson saying to me one time, he said, "Coach, one thing about us Nebraskans, even though he's from Arizona, he comes from Nebraska blood, right? That mom and dad went to Shattern State. Like, I remember him telling me, he's like, we can handle adversity and we don't quit. And so they've always had that. We're just getting better, and we're just making play. I mean, Pritchett kind of rolled his ankle and he played, hard. At the very end, he just was just really starting to limp on it. We put Turner in for him. Turner Corcoran, it's been a full year, and he's out there and he makes the plays at the end. So, if I could say one last thing, I think, the offense and the defense, I think they support each other really well, and our special teams continue to come through. Even at the end of the half, it's sort of a shame we took that sack because we got the ball to the 50 at the half. We could have probably kicked a field goal.
Back-to-back weeks on the road, short week next week. How do you kind of attack what's next? You don't have a lot of time to really think about this.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to do the exact same week. The way we look at it, Friday night is about 12 hours from an 11 o'clock game. So we'll do the exact same game week. Like we'll practice on Sunday. We'll take Monday off. We'll do Tuesday. We'll do Wednesday. Just Thursday morning, instead of practicing, we'll walk through. And then Thursday night, we'll head up to Minnesota. I mean, the travel here we came on Thursday night, it was first class, absolutely first class. The hotel was elite. One of the best bus drivers that we've ever had. But, Thomas, Susan, everything was really, really, really important here. And I think that shows up in the 4th quarter. Like, when I say those things, like, I want our guys to understand, like, hey, the reason why we eat well, the reason why we do all these things is so that in the 4th quarter you have energy to go make the plays to win. It's not for anything. It's not to be entitled. And I thought we had no distractions. We took our guys to a sauna and a cold plunge place. And the owner afterwards told Mitch, he was like, it's the best group of people we've ever had come through here. And so that's not me. That's Sierra. That's, I'd asked the high school, we went to walk through at a high school. I'd asked the high school coach if the DBs could stay longer because they wanted to get individual drills on 5 a.m. I mean, just the culture of those guys is outrageous. And so we'll have to do that this week, though, because Minnesota's a really good team. It's a tough team. It's a hard place to play. It's been a while since we beat them. We're heading there. It's a game that we're going to, obviously, Julie, my wife, Julie, there, she lost her mother, Donna, to breast cancer. And my mom, my mom, Gloria, had breast cancer. So it's something we're very, very, very passionate about. And, we're going to it'll be a breast cancer game this Friday. We partnered with Minnesota to do it. So, but we'll have to muster a lot of stuff, because this was obviously took a lot out of us.
Is there anything else you can say just about the playmaking? Like Heinrich with the catch on the sideline there.
What a catch.
And Dylan, too, I think he's falling down when he threw the pass to Hunter on the last drive. Like, you guys stepped up and made plays in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, I mean, and you go back, even Isaiah at the beginning, right, taking that same screen to the house. I mean, you just, you get rid of the 3 turnovers. But again, we're going to have, you want to make those kind of plays. Sometimes they're going to make plays too. The ball's going to get intercepted. But so good to see like Luke make the play that he made. Heinrich that was an unbelievable catch by Heinrich, unbelievable catch by Dane Key. And so, you watch us play, like the Keel's rotating in, Keelan Smith's out there. He's rotating in, Cortez Mills out there, Quinn Clark. We trust them all, and they all got to go play. And so, like I said, Kenneth Williams with the big kickoff return. Isaiah Mosey, they had him a 2nd and 20. He makes a great run to get us, in decent position. So it's just kind of the mindset of Dana, like, hey, just put the ball out there and guys have to go make plays. Thanks.
It's Matt Rule with us here on Real Red Reaction. His post-game show were powered by Slim Chickens. Chris Schmidt, the Pride of Fairbury, Bill Dolman, Elijah Herbal, Justice Big Red Roadie in studio, at Justice Roadie on Twitter, at Herbal Essence, at Bill Dolman, at Schmidt_radio is where you can find us. And things thinning out here in the rail yard, but happy bunch of Huskers. And Ken put it really well in the stream here during the Rule press conference. You have a little bit of gunslinger in Dylan Raiola, similar to Brett Favre, where you live with the bad and you can't believe some of the good. That was a case in point tonight. Penn State has quit. They got beat at home by Northwestern, 22-21, I believe. Oregon, too much Signetti. That Oregon, the offense held minimal. We're talking under 3 yards per carry against that Indiana defense. Signetti's on fire. Wow. What a win by Indiana.
Yeah.
Workmanlike by Ohio State over Illinois. Ohio State's on a different planet right now, and Michigan trails SC on the road by 7. Good bounce back for Washington at home over Rutgers last night. And it's off to Gopher land for me and Junior and the Average Joe Real Red Reaction show next week. We'll be live from the Graduate in Minneapolis. Guys, we've probably got, are we thinking 20 more minutes of showtime?
Yeah.
It's good for me.
More of your comments coming up in the stream, in the chat. But the vibes are good, clearly, for Nebraska fans with the win. And you just want to see them kind of get some improvements done. But Matt Rule, not shy about pointing to guys on the team, fellas, that help make this thing go round and round. The players that are out there making plays and making sure things are still within reach and there's not a lot of panic in tight moments.
Yeah,
they showed poise today in that last 2 minutes that we've not seen. They say they can believe, but now they've got reason to believe. It's one thing to say; it's another thing to do it. They've been saying it before, but that's why I talk about reaching a plateau today. They can actually get in the huddle in a close game and say we have done this. They did not do it against Michigan. They survived against Michigan State. They came back to win today. But it's one thing to say, this team has done this or feels this way, and it's all kind of esoteric until they actually go do it. And today they did it, and they can point to this game and the last 2 minutes as a benchmark moment. This is how we did it. This is who we can trust to make a play when we have to make a play, and that's why I was talking about those receivers. I think he has a number of players. It wasn't just Raiola who won the game in the final 2 minutes. He had help because they've assembled a receiving core that can make plays with him and for him. So now they can point to something tangibly.
It's one of those things where whenever the game was online, did the offensive line have a banner day from a pass protecting point of view? No. Were they good enough to win? Absolutely. And they did a great job opening up holes for Emmett Johnson. Was the defensive line great throughout the game? No. But did they step up when it mattered? In winning time? They did. That's my main takeaway here. Is there's a lot of nitpicky things that I have with this game where I say, man, it could have been a lot worse with good reason. Nebraska did not have their best day whatsoever. But I just can't be more positive about the fact that whenever it was winning time late in the fourth quarter and they needed to go make a play, every single time they needed a play, they went and made that play. And that is just the hallmark of a winning football team. Is this a team that is a national championship contender? No, I don't think so. There's a lot of issues with this football team. Is this a team that Nebraskans can be proud of? Yes. Both of those things can be true. The way that Nebraska steps up in winning time in the fourth quarter and wins, and then, hey, they come out of the locker room and go thank all the fans that made the trip out to Maryland.
That's cool.
High five in the front row. This is a team that Husker fans can be very, very proud of. And it's been a long time since we've been able to say that.
They're totally likable.
Yep.
You root for them. And they have the flair for the dramatic. I mean, that's just it. I mean, think of going back to the original Gladiator. Are you not entertained? They put on some damn entertaining football and some maddening football. But, I mean, you're watching. I mean, it might be the best reality TV show going right now. College football for sure. But if you're a Nebraska fan, I mean, you're going to pull your hair out and then pour one and smile because your team won. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword.
Let us remember that at the end of Gladiator, Maximus doesn't make it.
No, I
are you not entertained? But he dies in the end. Spoiler alert.
Neither's the emperor.
His legacy lives on in Gladiator 2.
Thank you.
But look, Commodus missed. Okay, he stabbed him in the shield. So Maximus lived. It's a very good win for Nebraska. It's a very good win for Dylan Raiola. He did not play great. It's a great win because Emmett Johnson did everything he could to carry that team literally and figuratively to a win, and he was rewarded. It wasn't a wasted 23 or whatever carry day and 176 yards. It was that performance in a win. Kenneth Williams kickoff return, special teams again. There have been times in the last 10 years where we have not been certain that a PAT was going to go through. Right? I mean, there were student tryouts. There are people who got pulled out of biology class to kick PATs, not just field goals. And now, Cunanan comes out there and everything looks fairly routine. The pressure kick on, after the delay of game, that was a big kick, and he confidently put it through. How about we not lose sight of what Kevin Gallick is doing as Nebraska's long snapper?
Yes.
A lot of things are going well in all phases. Special teams has been very consistent. They did enough to win offensively, and I was really impressed with the pressure. Even though Malik Washington made plays on that last drive in the last,
that was a crazy throw. That last third down, how nuts was that?
But that defensive line was getting pressure on him. They hounded him. They forced him into an intentional grounding play. That third down on 24 pass, I thought that was great pass rush. By Winery. It was a big pop by Singleton. The guy just reaches up and over the top of the fingertips, he makes the catch and holds on. That was just a great football play all around. But Nebraska's pass rush, when it needed to dial up, dialed up, and they put pressure on, and then they made the play on fourth down. So it is a memorable win that we'll talk about for a long time.
Can I go? I want to go back 2 minutes here and just say you were talking about some of Nebraska's kicking woes back in the day. You have to get students off of the club soccer team to come kick. Shout out to Husker legend Matt Waldock. He's a youth soccer coaching legend now, but he was a legend for a couple of weeks for the Husker football team, coming off the club soccer team. This might be before Justice's time, but steadying the ship on the kicking position for a couple of weeks. Shout out to Matt, Husker legend. In my eyes, maybe not in the history books, but in my eyes, the legend embodies what it means to be a Husker student. But continue.
This story keeps getting more and more fascinating with the 2025 Huskers. Where they're 5-1, They keep you coming back for more. They scare you sometimes. And while not dominant, that's okay. There's not a lot of dominant except for a couple, 3, 4 teams in college football. It's more of a wide open year in college football when we talk about playoff contenders. But this team, fellas, they rise to the occasion. I think that makes a dent as well. One team that, and I'm not, again, thinking that Nebraska's playoff potential. I like that they keep finding ways to make it happen. I love their resiliency. I really appreciate that about this football team. And maybe they'll put it all together as the season continues on, where it's 4 quarters of football, 4 quarters of taking care of the football, 4 quarters of run stoppage. Maybe they get to a level where by the time they see Iowa, or by the time it's UCLA, or by the time it's USC, or even Minnesota, maybe they're playing their best football. They'd look in the mirror and say, yeah, we're not playing great football. We're not playing terrible football, but we're playing winning football, which is important. I would say the ability to rise to the occasion and eke out some wins is its own specialty. That if Nebraska's going into November after that first week in November at 8-1, I don't think you can brush off or ignore either. If you're 8-1 and you found ways to win football games, is it better than a 4th place SEC team? Don't know. Is it better than a 5th place SEC team? Don't know. Where do they stack up in Big Ten play? Time will tell with all of that, but how they get it done and the fact that they've figured out ways to do it is impressive. Now it's got to stop. I mean, if it's just a back and forth ball game like that Penn State Notre Dame semifinal last year, okay. But when it comes to self-inflicted wounds, that stuff is going to get you beat eventually.
Quickly here, though, and I said it earlier, Nebraska is not a national championship contender. This is not me saying they are, but it's tough week in, week out in the Big Ten, the SEC, whatever it may be. Look at Ohio State last year. They had escaped by the skin of their teeth against Nebraska, a home game against Nebraska, who we all know was a flawed team last year. They barely escaped that game with a victory. Look at the team they were playing in the national championship game. Notre Dame lost at home to Northern Illinois. Winning football games is hard, no matter who the opponent is. So the fact that Nebraska came out with a win today is nothing but a positive. Do you have things to build on, things to work on? Yes. But there are very few teams in college football history, the 95 Huskers being one of them, that rolled through their entire schedule, that made it look easy for an entire season. 2019 LSU's up there, but it's rare to see in college football. You can't look at this and say, man, I think Maryland's flawed. Nebraska's not good because they barely escaped this game with a victory. Well, they escaped with a victory. And that's the quality of a good football team, is even when they don't bring their best stuff, even when the other team has their numbers at times, they go and win the football game at the end of the day.
I mean, really quickly here, I want to jump in and say Nebraska started out 5-1 last year too. They're 5-1 now. This can't be a case where now you go sit on your tuchus and you say, hey, we're 5-1, let's rest on our laurels, we have a good start. No, the hallmark of this program taking the next step will be how they handle their business against Minnesota. Right, you can't just go winless for the next 3 games and allow that to creep up on you and allow the schedule to happen. You have to now assert yourselves as a power in the Big Ten and say, hey, we are taking this next step. We're going to handle business 1 game at a time and not sit on the tail and watch other teams pass you as you just kind of go, oh, but we started the season 5-1. You can start the season 5-1 all you want. If you lose out, it doesn't matter. So now they have to build on this and continue to find a way to win 1 game at a time. Like you said, Elijah, winning football games is hard, but this team has found resolve in now a couple of instances to win late games, even though they've had leads. Now it's about continuing to find ways to win football games as we get into the later stretches where it's easy for teams to run out of gas in October and November.
What class did you learn the word tuchus?
That's his Oklahoma upbringing right there.
It is. It's a creative way to not curse on air and get an FCC violation.
But we're not on air anymore. Say it, Justice. Say it.
You don't have to say it, Justice.
I think we'll avoid that. But yeah, I mean, you want to avoid, falling off the cliff and going, 5-4. I mean, you don't want to have to bail out and take a crazy offensive performance like you did against Wisconsin last year. Now you want to be able to put the foot on the gas. You don't want to be like Penn State. Penn State skidded and lost their last 3. You can't be that in the Big Ten. Now for Nebraska, it's about, hey, you got to put the foot on the gas, find some ways. Another quick note here. You talked about the gunslinger point earlier, and I wanted to bring up another gunslinger that Dylan Raiola has been compared to points at his upbringing is Matthew Stafford. And Matthew Stafford, sophomore year at Georgia, he threw for 2,500 yards, had 19 touchdowns, 10 interceptions on a team that was 11-2 and finished number 2 in the country. I don't know if Nebraska's got the same ilk. I don't know if they're a number 2 team in the country, but it does point out that Matthew Stafford threw double-digit interceptions basically every year of his college career. He had 13 his freshman year, 10 his sophomore year, 10 his junior year before he got drafted to the Detroit Lions. Like, there are going to be turnovers that happen with young quarterbacks, young talented quarterbacks, but it's how do you build off of that? And I think Dylan Raiola responded in a really great way in the final drive and was able to make a big play happen.
And he had help.
Well,
yes.
Some final thoughts, fellas. Final 5 minutes here on Real Red Reaction, powered by Slim Chickens. 14th and Pine Lake, 84th at Old Shady, 84th and Adams, soon to be. To get your Slim Chickens fix, get a wrap, get some chicken fingers, get some of that delicious coleslaw, get a salad if you like, and get some of the legendary dessert, the wings. They're incredible. Appreciate Slim Chickens for powering Real Red Reaction with KFOR. And, of course, can find and follow the Average Joe Sports Show on YouTube. Find Real Red Reaction, YouTube. KFOR Radio on Twitter. Give that a follow. AJ Sports Radio on Twitter. Sunday, Average Joe Sports Show live. Sunday live at 10:30 tomorrow. More thoughts as Nebraska able to survive Maryland and win 34-31.
This has been my weekly tradition now, I think going on since last year as we kind of wrap up the show. I want to go around the room and ask everybody, what is the one word you use to describe this Husker performance? I can dive into the deep end first because I have it. I already tweeted it. It was cathartic. That's what today was. After 10 years of heartbreak, 10 years of opportunities in the fourth quarter with the chance to go drive down and take the lead, to tie the game, whatever it may be, and to always, time and time again, I think it was 1 in 30 in their last 31 opportunities down by a score with the ball in the fourth quarter. 1 in 30. In their last 31 games to do that. That's incredible.
My word is redemption.
That works too. I was just going to say that the cathartic nature of today's game, it feels good. That's why Husker fans can be happy despite the fact that it looked ugly at times today. It was a release of, thank God, it wasn't another disaster. But Schmitty, back to you. Sorry.
No, redemption's the word, and it's Lloyd and Harry. He sells the shaggin' wagon for that little moped hog, and they whiff on a high five. You can go whatever way you want with the 3 interceptions being the shaggin' wagon or the moped, but eventually they got to Aspen, right? So, no, redemption for, a tough day for Dylan. You can't be a turnover machine with 3 bad picks. And you didn't let it affect you in the crucial moment. 3rd and 10 last week. 2-minute drill time for the win after, to your point, Elijah, so many opportunities a year ago. You're seeing growth, and you're seeing this team kind of handle their own destiny with making the plays down the stretch.
Justice?
I guess I'll go. My word is inexplicable. I don't know how they won this. Through three interceptions, a pick six, and really like they had a swing like an 85-yard kick return. Maryland has the ball with 1:08 left. It feels like, you've seen it before, deja vu, and Nebraska clamps down defensively and they get a stop. The secondary didn't look great. But between Emmett Johnson and Nebraska having high-end talent, they were able to get out of there. It's inexplicable to me. I don't know how it happened, but you take the win and you run away, and you know, by the skin of your teeth, you just crawl out of College Park with a win. So to me, it's just inexplicable. I don't know how they did it.
Is not Penn State one word?
In Charles Barkley's lingo,
I think
it
you
is.
could do 2 words.
We aren't Penn State.
Yeah. I mean, you got to be happy about that. I'm going back to benchmark. I'm not going to say it's a signature win, but I think it's a benchmark win for Nebraska. Just like the bowl game was, you didn't beat a blue blood, but you beat Boston College in an important game that set the tone for the offseason, gave Nebraska momentum. And I think, as you pointed out, Justice, Nebraska was 5-1 last year, and we're thinking, okay, bowls, and got all the way down to the end of the season for Nebraska to become bowl eligible with the win over Wisconsin. I don't think you're looking at a repeat of that. I think it's a benchmark. It's a plateau. You've climbed up. You survey the landscape, and now you continue on your climb. And I think that you look back at Boston College as a key win for Matt Rule's program. I think you look at this road victory coming from behind in a sloppy performance, but getting the job done with a good team win. And you had a lot of Husker fans believing that they were going to win. They didn't just show up because, well, the Huskers are close and we're obligated to. They went to go watch Nebraska win. They were rewarded with the win. And Nebraska, I think that was a very nice touch to go out and thank those folks for showing up. So I think that was great. But I think that if Matt Rule's program continues to go forward, you look back at this as one of those benchmark victories. And look, I don't think Nebraska is going to be in the college football playoff. There are too many big name teams and conference teams that are 4-1, 5-0, something like that. But if Nebraska loses maybe 1 or even has 3 losses, and they beat Iowa to end the regular season, and they end up in a great bowl game, playing in the Fiesta, well, not the Fiesta Bowl, but like in Orlando or someplace where it's a great reward for a really good season, I think people will be pretty happy with that, and they'll look back at this win as the starting point for that.
That is the pride of Fairbury, Bill Dolman, Justice Rohde, Big Red Rohde, and Elijah Herbal. At Herbal Essence, at Justice Rohde, at Bill Dolman. Chris Schmidt with you, saying thanks so much for spending time on Real Red Reaction. Huskers again in a thriller, 34-31. More to talk tomorrow on the Average Joe Sports Show live, 10:30 on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Find us 7 days a week. Find KFOR on Twitter at KFOR Radio, at AJ Sports Radio, at AJ Sports Pod. Facebook platforms as well. Elijah, good stuff, dude. Thank you much. Justice, same to you, partner. Appreciate you hanging out. Billy D, always good to spend time. Thanks to all of you in the stream and in the chat for hanging out and being a part of it with us, as Nebraska's now at 5-1.
I was just going to say, it feels like hanging out for 2 hours with friends, not just you gentlemen, but everyone in the stream chat as well.
Amen.
It's just a fun time. I'm glad to be able to do it. It's always more fun in a day like today. But thank you everyone in the chat. Thank you gentlemen. This is just 2 hours with friends talking about the Huskers. So
absolutely.
Now time for an apple shot.
Happy old-fashioned month. See you later.
All right. Love you all. Appreciate it. Talk tomorrow at 10:30. See you.